and the sisters too. We got them all here.
Welcome, members and guests, to the Elections and Campaign Finance Subcommittee. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, members, to the committee and guests. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Tim Rudd, Chairman of the Committee of Elections and Campaign Finance. And joining us each week will be some of the instrumental people that help make all this happen. And I want to thank you. I'd like to recognize them. Tricia Hegna is my executive assistant. She's secretary to the committee. She can't be here today. She's out sick, but she'll be back tomorrow. And we couldn't do it without her. Elizabeth Ashwood here is filling in today and does a great job as our research analyst. Matt Mundy has been our attorney, but we have a new attorney. And you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee, my name is Josh Houston with the Office of Legal Services.
Helped us many a time. Our intern this year is Dylan Estes. Where are you? Oh, back here. He's always behind me. I never can keep up with him. He's been filling in for my assistant, doing a great job this week, too. We'd like to thank those who in the Audio and Video Committee and the Sergeant at Arms. And let's see, before I do roll, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and do roll. Madam Secretary, if you'll take the roll.
Representatives Holsclaw, Love, here. Manis, Shaw, here. Williams, present. Wright, here. Chairman Crawford, present. Chairman Rudd.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. There are a few announcements and personal orders that we need to do before we begin. We would like to begin by sharing some information with you. And that as far as the rules and procedures of the committee. We will plan on attending each Wednesday at 12:30 in this House Hearing Room 2. I would also like to discuss a few rules I think will help us all. Bill notices will be turned in by 3:30 p.m. each Wednesday in order to be heard for the upcoming week. Be sure to submit your bill notices through the portal. Amendments must be filed by 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Please remember, amendments must be submitted electronically to the House local government address. Amendments must be signed and must be submitted electronically to the corresponding email list. Bills passed by the subcommittee will automatically be placed on the next available full committee calendar unless the committee receives a written request by the sponsor to set another hearing date. When there are numerous persons on the list to speak on an issue, the chair may impose limits for testimony and comments. Guest speakers need to be pre-approved by the chair no later than 24 hours in advance. Caption bills must be approved by the Speaker's office before being heard in the committee. Also, if the bill opens up a substantial portion of the Tennessee Code, sponsors must agree to send this bill back to the committee if the bill passes and is amended on the floor of the House. Please be respectful of others. Please turn off your cell phones and put them on mute during the committee. Also, please limit texting and internet browsing while hearing testimony before the committee. No live streaming or recording will be allowed by members or by guests without at least 24-hour notice prior to approval from the chair. Documents, handouts, and PowerPoint presentation material also will be required 24-hour notice to the chairman. Calendars will be emailed to your office each week rather than delivered by hand. Bill packets and physical amendment packets also will be emailed to your office. Be consistent with many of the other committees, and since we now have access to information by electronic means, hard copies will no longer be distributed to the office. This will also help us prevent the spread of COVID. If you would like a hard copy, please ask your assistant to print it out for you. In accordance with House Rule 83, any bill or resolution may only be calendared 3 times. And again, some of these rules have changed a little bit, so it's important to remember. If on the 3rd calendar a bill does not report out of committee, the bill will be placed on a special calendar by the chairman of the committee to be published on the final calendar. If at that juncture the bill is not reported out of the committee, then it shall be returned to the clerk's desk. Roll call votes. Sponsors may request roll call votes prior when voting begins or prior to a question being called. If the members like a roll call vote, it will take 3 members of the committee to request that. The chair can request a roll call vote at any time. And finally, please speak up. Ensure that your mic is close to you and that I can hear you. This room does not have the best of acoustics, and I need to be able to hear everyone to record the votes. This should wrap up our business today, since we don't have any legislation before us, unless there are any special announcements or recognition by the chair and also the committee. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves before we leave. Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some guests today. Should I do both, the introduction and the guest?
You can introduce your guests, and we'll start introducing. If there's no other announcements, we'll introduce the members.
Okay. I have some guests with me today. I have my daughter, first of all, with me today, Rhonda. Rhonda she loves her daddy so much that she just wants to do everything he does, and she's here today to see what he does. We're happy to have her. And then I have my niece. I have with me Corrine Beard. She is more like a daughter than the niece, but she too want to find out what I'm doing today. And then I have Jason Murphy with me, who is from Bolivar. Well, actually he's from Cordova, but he works in Bolivar at Pine Meadows Nursing Home. He's the administrator over there, one of our local nursing homes, and we're happy to have him. They are here to just kind of see what I do, and Jason beat me at checks this morning, so he's already come up and started, I guess, beating me at this game. So I would like y'all to help me make them welcome today.
I did forget to mention, due to a death in the family, his father, Eddie Manis, is excused from the meeting. Also, Lena in the corner, another news, she's from the clerk's office. She'll be with us this session. Now, if I would start with Representative Shaw, you can go down and we can introduce ourselves.
I am Representative Johnny Shaw, District 80. District 80 right now is most of Hardeman County, about 2/3 of Madison. It will be, the new district looks like it'll go back into Haywood County, which will take in Blue Oval City if the map remains the same. And then, of course, I'll have about 2/3 of Haywood, most of Hardeman, and still that third of Madison County. So I'll take on a Senate district as a House member if the map remained the same.
Next.
Good afternoon. Harold Love, District 58, here representing Nashville, Tennessee, and glad to be here again, Mr. Chairman.
I'm John Crawford. I represent the 1st District, which is the very tip, northeast Tennessee. And I don't know if you're familiar or not, but it's the Bristol area, which is the most beautiful part of the country. So, and most beautiful, definitely most beautiful part of the state.
I'm Tim Rudd, represent District 34. I'm chairman of the committee. It's a great honor. Thank the speaker and the members for tolerating me. And I represent the basically South Central Rutherford County and Murfreesboro. Representative Hosclaw.
I'm Representative John Hosclaw, District 4, which is Carter and Unicoi County. That's also up in that upper east part. We've got lakes and stuff over where we are, Crawford. A little bit nicer.
Beautiful, beautiful country.
Dave Wright, District 19, which is the rural east side of Knox County.
Thank you, Chairman. Representative Ryan Williams, House District 42, about 80% of Putnam County. I also have a question about the rules before you adjourn, please. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we're to that point now. Any announcements or questions?
Yeah, I noticed in the rules there was a clarification about the third time heard. Didn't know if that was a change this year or no, and maybe I missed it. It's my understanding once it's countered the third time that the bill automatically goes to the clerk's desk, but your description of the bill, the processes would be that it would be calendared on a last calendar before it goes to the clerk's desk. Could you clarify? Is that the intent, or is that the?
That is it. As far as I know, and Chairman Crawford can correct me. I believe there was a clarification from the Speaker's office, and that is what came out.
Okay.
As read. And you can clear that up, Chairman?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's exactly right, and we did do that last year.
Okay.
We do have Elizabeth, the research analyst. If you need explanation, she can probably explain it a lot better than I can. But basically, if you don't show up or you don't run that bill third calendar, then it will go to a special calendar.
Which is the last calendar.
Yeah.
So a member wouldn't be responsible if he didn't run any of those 3 times, if he didn't attempt to move the bill, that a member of the committee or a member of the House would know that the last calendar, it would be calendared to run at that time.
That is correct.
Okay.
And then if it's not dealt with at that time, then it goes to the clerk's desk. Then you have to petition the speaker to get it off.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
Any other questions or announcements? Yes, Chairman Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have one announcement. Next week, Tuesday at 12 o'clock, House Hearing Room 1. That's the Local Government Full Committee. We will be having a presentation from Secretary of State Trey Hargett and Mark Goins, the Director of Elections and Campaigns. And so if you would like to hear some of the new things that's coming out, then come hear us. We won't be long. Thank you.
Yeah, I should have been. We were originally planning on having that here today. The presentation, we'd asked for it, but there's so few people in here, we figured we'd do it before the full local. That way more people can hear it. They're going to go over upcoming suggestions and changes they know of. Also, they're going to go over all the measures, since there's been a lot of questions, all the measures of integrity and voter registration and the election process and securing machines and all that we already have in place. So it'll be a nice presentation for everyone to get on record. All right. I believe we have 2 bills next week, so we're off and running. And I don't see any other business. If that is the end of business, we are hereby adjourned till next week at 12:30 in this room.